Hi everyone, my name's Antony Cummins, and today I've been asked to do a response to the Asian Boss Ninja Naruto Run video, which has got over about 6 million hits at the moment, and it did 6 million in a week. And it features Kawakami Sensei, who is a researcher of ninjutsu in Japan. So I'm going to go through that today, and it's going to be a bit of a video. However, what am I going to do before we start? As always, please get yourself a copy of Ninja Skills, the Authentic Ninja Training Manual by Antony Cummins. Help support what I do. Get a copy. If you don't want a copy, buy a copy for a friend. The reason I always plug this is simply it keeps me going. The more books we sell, the more the publisher is happy. The more the publisher is happy, the more that they will publish historical ninjutsu books. That's why we have to sell. Otherwise, it all crashes down into nothing. So do get yourself a copy. Right. Oosh. The moment. Okay, I didn't want to do this video, but somebody genuinely asked me to do it, and I thought, right, I should really do it, because I've been trying to avoid this. So in 2016, I put a video up by me, and it was called Greg Park, Krista, and all that side of the crowd. And I said I am no longer even commenting on, discussing, or examining, now let me be careful here, modern ninja schools, all right? Or claimant ninja schools. Now, and I've got to be really careful how we put this in here, guys. So before 2016, I was dealing with every modern ninja school out there, every claimant ninja school, and I actually deleted 60 videos from my channel in 2016 because they involved all that rubbish with dealing with people. Now, at first, I came in and I was like, yep, in my head, I don't like using the word naive because obviously I'm not naive, but it's the idealistic. In my head, I'm like, go and travel Japan, get all the ninja scrolls, show what the truth is, because it's clearly not true. And I'm sure people will be so happy with reading real words from ninjas, not from Antony Cummins, from real ninjas, that they will take it on board. And bit by bit, you can help change the samurai ninja enthusiast community for the better. Shotgun. That did not work. In 2016, I put an end to any interaction I had with any of... no, sorry, not interaction. Let me get this right. I put an end to any research into schools which have no legitimate claim, no proof, no anything. And I just stopped using the word fake because it was too... it was too provocative. If you say fake, people are automatically on the defensive, which was my mistake. So I actually started to change the word to claimant, because claimant implies that they have a claim, but that they want to show or prove something, but that they are not considered proper. But it's not improper, it's more they have a claim and it's yet to be solved. So I said from now on, from 2016, I am doing I'm using only the concept claimant. And I stopped engaging with that because it became illogical. I remember we used to have arguments in videos, and it got to the point where I was like, that was fine. But then it got to the point where I was really pushing down on the historical aspect and actual proof, history, actual proof. And the people on the other side were in such a corner that they ended up being illogical just to hold their own sort of like, their own dignity, if you like. And it became... And I remember sat there one day watching one of the videos. I won't say the name of the person it was, but I thought that person has changed from actual research to now illogical, like religious fundamentalist. They're a fundamentalist. They don't care about history. They don't care about proof. They haven't structured an argument. And they're not stupid people. It's a clever person. But I was like, they have literally just twisted everything to suit their agenda. And that's really bad history. Bad history is having an idea and finding proof. Good history is finding proof and creating a theory from it. Of course, once you've got that theory, you have to then think, oh, something's missing. There must be proof missing. Don't misunderstand it. So it's the same as that concept keeps popping up, is that absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. That's right, correct. But you've got to get to that stage later. You can't just go, no evidence, let's make something up. Okay, there's no evidence of life on Mars, but that doesn't mean there isn't life on Mars. Therefore, I've constructed the Zulugog civilization, and the Zulugogs have a high priest called Chikakubu, and Chikakubu slaughters people from Pluto. It's like, it's clearly wrong, but people say, oh, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Yeah, but you need evidence to start history. You can't have no evidence and make something up, okay? So get rid of that theory. The history's got some simple, I know I'm going on a bit here, guys, but history's got simple things, rules, but also it gets complex. But there are simple rules to follow. And one of them is that you build your theories and your history from actual evidence. Once you've built that, you can then show what's missing. Not something's missing, therefore let's make something up. Totally separate. So anyway, back to ninjas. There goes one. Right. Random. So there's, we've got all the people out there who are claimants. Krista Jacobson, Hatsumi, Kawakami. Stephen Hayes is not, because he's under the Takamatsu Den. Then there was a couple more, but anyway, the point was, as I stopped dealing with that because I'm not having to go at the people. No, anyway, basically, in modern society, we always have to feel that we have to apologise for what we say before, and I know English people do that anyway. I'm so sorry. But basically, it's got to the point where you have to apologise every 5 minutes. Now it's getting ridiculous. No, I looked at these and there was just no evidence, and I said in 2016. Now, this is where I got to be careful with interaction. I said I am going to stop researching claimant schools that have no evidence whatsoever. It's like, hi, I'm a claimant. Hi, I'm Antony Cummins. What evidence do you have? None. Thank you. The end. Done. Because that's as far as it goes, because it was getting illogical. So that's where we stopped. I don't know why the puppets are still going, but they're still going. So if anybody's interested, I've been axing a lot. I'm really enjoying chopping wood, and I'm blistered. I have to stop for a few days because I'm like, chop things down. So thinking I'm a Viking, like, smashing everything up. So anyway, right, so we're back to this idea that in my mind, there's claimants, and then there's people I interact with. Now, when I put that lockdown in 2016, I never said I would not interact with these people, but I said I would only deal with historical evidence. So, people who run claimant schools, the Bujinkan, Kawakami's line, Krista's line, Tomoryu, all of that, I said I will still interact with these people, but only from historical documentation standpoint and from the point of pushing forward historical ninjutsu. Now, you've got to remember here that there's a line, guys. There's my claimant school, and then there's historical ninjutsu, and most of the claimant schools come together and use both. I only use one, history. That's it. I use history. That's all. So I'm going to get to Kawakami in a minute. There's a point. So I came out 2016 and said, guys, willing to interact with you, but I'm not going to talk about your claimant school. The end. It's just, until you can give me a document that I can send to Japan and have it checked, not a physical document, but then it's useless. No go. So everybody at that point went, brick wall, boom, don't interact with Antony. He's an idiot. We hate him. And then they say things like, the first person to do historical ninjutsu is actually like, no, it's me. Let's get over it. It was me. There was people before me who were touching about it, but I used a sledgehammer, and people are upset now because I've literally gone. And I mean, it's not even, you don't even need any proof. Look at the books we've done. Look at the team I've got together. Look at the translations. I do this 24/7. That's my job. I've been doing it for 10 years now. So it's a case of, okay, you know what I mean? Live in a delusion, if you like. So, and I don't want to go into that realm, but basically, we've got so much historical ninjutsu out there. People are way behind now. They're not ahead. They're way behind. So you need to catch up or join the history side of it, and just be honest on what is history. Anyway, we digress. So basically, everybody crunched to a stop was, oh, if you're not going to pay attention to my school, what's the point in me continuing talking to Antony Cummins? It was because we're trying to get historical ninja. But there was one person who carried on. Absolutely, and I give them utter respect for this, and that's Kawakami Sensei. I use the word sensei to mean a teacher in the sense that not to legitimize his claim, but in the fact that I now use sensei as an honorific for those people who are teachers like Hatsumi Sensei. I never used to use sensei for Hatsumi, not out of rudeness, it was just to stop me people thinking that I believed in what was said, but I just use it now because it's polite, that's all. It means nothing beyond politeness. So you've got Kawakami Sensei, who is actually a claimant who has pushed his claim down. And in the the Asian Boss video, he actually says this. People have given me the title of The Last Ninja, which of course is his claim, but he says that's up to them. He says he is basically dealing with historical ninjutsu, and he's got access to the largest collection of historical ninjutsu. And he openly says he is going to study from a historical perspective. I have been to lunches with Kawakami Sensei. I've been to drinking with him at night. We've literally had meals. I've met him multiple times in Japan. I've done a demonstration, a 2-hour demonstration for him and the rest of IGA, and he was there, and he was genuinely impressed and happy. And we have got on quite well. So I respect and interact with him because he is saying that, yes, okay, I have a claim, but there's my claim, let's leave it there and do with it as you want. Here's historical ninjutsu, here's from this scroll, this is from that scroll. That is exactly what I said. So when people say, oh, Antony might be supporting Kawakami Sensei, the answer is, yes, I am, because he's supporting historical ninjutsu. I do not support the claim. I support the man who supports historical ninjutsu. Okay? That's how it goes. Does that mean I agree with everything he says? Absolutely not. And academics and historians and historical researchers and enthusiasts should not agree with each other totally. You should have your own opinions. However, if they're irrational opinions, the rest of the people look at you and go, okay, crazy man or woman. So basically, you've got this idea that Kawakami Sensei in Japan has, I can't put words in his mouth, but it seems that he's looked at the historical research community, looked at the West, which is me and you guys out there doing historical ninjutsu. I'm not talking about claimant schools, I'm not talking about Bujinkan, I'm not talking about Genbukan, I'm talking about people who've picked up copies of the Bansen Shukai, picked up Nato Ryu stuff, picked up like Shoninki and actually gone, okay, this is what ninjas say. Let's have a look at what the ninja actually says. And he's looked at that side and gone, actually, that's where we should be going. And he's focused now more on historical ninjutsu. So I'm getting to the point where I don't agree with everything he says, not in the slightest. In fact, I agree probably with most of it, but I disagree with some fundamental things. And some of it, I don't only think, that's not right. I genuinely think he's wrong. That's wrong. And I'll tell him he's wrong when I next see him in Japan. In fact, I emailed him the other day and we chatted. The point of what I'm saying is I would build a proper relationship with Kawakami Sensei, and then I will say where I think he's wrong, and then I will say, actually, I'll say to you publicly, this is definitely wrong. And there's one major example in the Asian Boss video, which is, I don't know why he says this, but he says, now I haven't had a translator. Remember, I do not speak Japanese. I don't know the language. That's not what I do. My job is the history and the logic behind it. The translators is language. So I don't know the exact words he says. But on there he says ninja came from lower level people, or they came from like the lowest echelons. That's not true. Absolutely not true. And I don't just mean this from Antony's theory, this theory. His own claimant school says it's not true. So he is from, it claims to be descended from the Akutagawa family, the Ban family mixed in with there, and he's got teachings from Chikamatsu Shikinori, all of which are samurai families. Akutagawa, Ban, Tomo, and what was the other one? Shigenori's. Basically, though I use his both names because we know his name, but actually the Akutagawa and the Ban, there are multiple lines and things like that. So basically, even though some of them are from Koka and maybe dropped to, like for example, Fujibayashi family dropped to Koshi, which is old samurai, which doesn't mean I'm an old samurai. It means ex-samurai retainer. So Koshi is an actual physical rank in the social system. And if you look at a photograph of a koshi, which I have, and I've got the photo of the Ban family, the Ohara family koshi. I have a photo of the last one in the 1800s. They are samurai, out and out samurai. They just don't have a salary. That's the main thing. Or they're not like going to work somewhere, but they still have the samurai status, but without the financial income. They have to bring their own financial income from family assets, basically. Right, sorry. So what we have here is you've got all three of the traditions he claims to be from actually have roots in samurai or are ex-samurai or there. So why would he turn around and say they're from a low system? No idea. However, there is an idea, if you like, or a theory. Is probably because he's looking from the perspective of the shinobi themselves. Because remember, he's still a claimant. So they're looking from the perspective of the shinobi themselves, which, yes, by the 1800s are the lowest, basically the lowest people. They're town guards, they're sub-samurai, they're more ashigaru, they're literally can carry one sword in some places. In some places they're still samurai. But the point being is that, and I've said this from day one, as you guys who follow me absolutely know, samurai, ninjutsu is a samurai profession, but it's also, in the Sengoku period, from thieves, from bandits and everything. It's a set of skills that is not for any one level. It's multiple level. It's thieves do it this, but the point is samurai, ninja is a position in an army. To be in the army, you have to be a samurai or an ashigaru, basically. And mostly ninja is about spy networking and all that. So genuinely, it's someone who is either connected to the warlord, or they have a very close connection through maybe 2 or 3 people to get to the warlord. The point is that they are not down here, nowhere near the camp. These guys are reporting word to ear, mouth to ear it's called, back to the thingy, the commander. But by the time of the 1800s, these guys are nowhere near the commander. Well, actually, that's debatable, but it's irrelevant. The point is that we know there's a definite decline, and that Kawakami Sensei is probably speaking from a late 1800s perspective of the ninja being low. But his own tradition says they are from samurai stock. So that is like, doesn't make sense. So, well, it makes sense, but you know what I mean? It shouldn't be, that shouldn't have been said in that video. It should have been explained further, unless the editing was, they edited it, what explanation out. So my point here is that, so let's look at this. Claimants go here in Antony Cummins' world. Boom. I don't ignore them until they are not interacting with me. If somebody doesn't interact with me, to the side. If they interact with me, it has to be when they say, I want to talk about my claimant school, goodbye. If they come and say, right, historical ninjutsu, I've this document here, nothing to do with my school, but I'm interested in ninja, I'm interested in pursuing historical ninjutsu. Okay, let's do it. And I've tried multiple times to interact with different people, and the one who's really taken me up in the offer is Kawakami Sensei. That's it. So does Antony Cummins support Kawakami Sensei as an academic researcher, as a historical investigator? Absolutely, 100%. I like what he does. I think what he does is great. He's starting now. I might have more information on this soon, guys, but he's actually starting something called Shinobi Do, which is a academy for ninjutsu. He's purposely said, this is a great move by him, especially for me. He said he's keeping his claimant to one side, and he's creating an academy that actually is based on multiple historical scrolls. It has no lineage factor. It's got nothing like that. It is not a Koryu, but it takes from historical documentation, and he now teaches in Japan anybody who wants to come and be part of his academy, because he has this information and he's detached from his claimant line and said, let's just set up this so people can understand historical ninjutsu. That is bang perfect in my book. That is mint, as we would say in Manchester. Mint. So why on earth would I not interact with Kawakami Sensei? Absolutely. Perfect. Well done. I don't agree with everything he says, but I agree with his attitude, and we agree on the baseline of what is ninjutsu. However, there's certain points that we can have a good debate about. Excellent. And I'll bring things, he'll bring things. We're all happy and good looking. Now, some things in that video were new to me, which was excellent, like Nukiyashi, the lifting up. I've always considered that to be a skill only for water. And in the book, let's plug it again, I talk about it for water, and it does say in Bansen Shukai it's for water. But he says in his, it's actually for not tripping over steps and stones and for not kicking things. You use Nukiyashi like, whoa, excellent. I would like to see documentation for that. But that might go in the realm where you ask Kawakami Sensei, what is it? And he goes, that's claimant information. This is documentation information. So if he says Nukiyashi is used for getting over bricks, I'll be like, well, where's that from? And if he says, well, my tradition, I was like, okay, well, it's an idea, but I've got to look at the Bansen Shukai, which, if I remember rightly, it talks about swamps and muddiness. So, okay, it's got to stay aquatic instead of across land. But I've clocked the idea, if that makes sense. So there's some great stuff there. Again, his point on killing people, yes. But I wish in that point you'd have said, actually, yeah, but mainly... Well, I think he does. He says mainly it's about spying, but I think it's... as always, you've got to be careful when you talk about people on TV, because half the time you're under the pressure of what the producer wants. You're under the sort of like constraints of their edit, or the manipulation of their edit. And the edit is massive. They can literally mash things together and make you say something you never said. And I was so shocked. It's in one of the documentaries I did, they literally asked me some questions, then later mashed it together like I supported their theory, and I do not. And I was like, like, ninja, please. So I was like, no way. So, right, we're at 20 minutes, guys. I better chop this now. So what I've got to say is, I liked the Asian boss thing. I hope it produces more interest in historical ninjutsu. I wish Kawakami Sensei all the best with his academy, and I look forward to seeing it in action in Japan. I will try to get some information for you guys in the future of how you can join the academy. And I hope now that explains the difference between interaction between people, which I'm open to interaction on historical research, but... I am not open to claimant schools. That's all gone. And once people turn to the illogical, I do not interact. It's like, no, you've gone crazy. Like, I'm a Knight Templar and I hold the tradition of Jesus Christ, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't. That's a lie. So, you know what I mean? Unless you produce some documents and bang out, some DNA from Jesus Christ, let's go. So, you know what I mean? It's the same thing with any claimant. If you claim it, prove it. Or don't claim it. Simple as that, isn't it? I caught a massive fish the other day, and it was so big it was a record breaker. Do you have a picture? Do you have the scales where you weighed it? Have you got the fish? No, I didn't take a single picture of the amazing fish. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Right. So, guys, let me know what you think. It's now a weekend, so I will be back on Monday to check your comments. So do put the comments in. After that, I don't go back to comments, so you've got about 48 hours to comment, and then I will come back and comment on them later. So let me know what you think. Would you like to join the academy? Would you like to join, which I think will have structured ranks as well. I'm not sure yet. We'll have structured ranks in ninjutsu from a Japanese organization. New organization, but still, you might be able to become a ninja master. Right, okay, guys. See you later.